Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your HUT lineup decisions. Going to start the video like I will over the next little while about the daily gift pack for anyone that hasn't opened it yet. This is by going to the store, getting your 5 Frozen Forces daily collectibles. There's 5 in a pack for free. Do this every day. And then in the sets, there is a daily gift set where you can trade in 5 and you will get a random item. It's different for everyone, but the actual item is of the same type. So today's was the 83 untradeable team of the week item. I personally wouldn't do it on that one. I would save and wait for something that you might want a little bit more of, or help towards making a master set player item from the event. There's been a few that haven't been worth it in my opinion, like the 2 gold jerseys as well as the 85 overall B&D. Player items, so just wanted to start every video like that. So for anyone that doesn't know, if you want an 83 overall team builder or team of the week item that you can trade in, go ahead and do it. If not, then that is what it is today. So I'll let you guys know what it is tomorrow morning as well. So starting off, we've got Hey Sleeves. Thanks for answering my question yesterday. Another lineup thing. Forgot to mention yesterday that I'm 2 icons away from Gretzky and 2 team builders away from making my second 86. If I get Gretzky, should I run McDavid on the wing and then run Backstrom on my second line? My lines would essentially be McDavid, Gretzky, Backstrom, Barkov. Heischer. Left wing would become stacked as I can get my HUT champs or my hat trick assured. It was 86 overall. Thanks again, buddy. A funny tidbit: my daughter made me choose cider. I'm happy with her choice. I hope you enjoy your holidays. Thanks, my man. Gretzky would be the icon that I would take for sure. I don't know what your defense is. That's the issue. Like, your forward is pretty stacked. I don't know if making Backstrom for your second line is worth it. You almost want to go Letang, I think, in that situation. But again, it depends on your decor. But I think your options here are pretty good, like what you've got here. If you want to go Backstrom, nothing wrong with that. I think Backstrom, my team builder video will come out today, my rankings. I know a lot of people have been asking that, but they're all very similar. And something that I've noticed, I went back and I watched the 90 overall release from NHL 24, and I kind of compared the two. Obviously, they're 1 overall higher, but man, were those cards so much better than what we got this year from the second release of Team Builders, which is why it's leaving everyone kind of like, man, they shouldn't just be good. They should be great. So definitely an issue there. Hey, Slaves, hope you're doing well. Merry Christmas to you and the fam. I bought the game on Black Friday, so my team is not very good. My team is Gartner, Barkov, and Kaprizov's master set player item, Nylander, Heisey, and base McDavid, Suzuki, Scheifele, Madonna, Gaudette, Sakic, and Icon St. Louis. He's got pretty mediocre decor. My question is, should I make Riley to upgrade my defense or make fantasy or Frozen Forces McDavid because my left-handed wingers are also really weak? I'm also planning on making Backstrom's team builder. Thank you for the great videos and keep up the work. No matter what, unless you already have 2 captains towards the supercharged McDavid. If you do not have 2 captains, then that changes things. Do not make McDavid's Frozen Forces card because obviously you're working towards it. You're going to replace that. But anyone else 100% needs to have Frozen Forces McDavid. So since you don't have captains here, it looks like, I would 100% go and make Connor McDavid's Frozen Forces card. It is by far the best card in the game that you can get that is not a chase card. Are you punishing EA by not releasing your Team Builders video? Waiting for your definitive opinion is excruciating. Almost as bad as my underwhelming enthusiasm for this neutered offering of 89 Team Builders. Don't forget to rank 89 Muller. Most other content creators forgot. Like I said, I will be doing this video later on today. I'll be going through, and I think when it comes to the rankings of the 89 team builders, it's going to be a lot of context. So I'm going to try and rank them based on a bunch of different scenarios because, like I said, I think that there's a lot of options where it could be like, yeah, okay, that makes more sense for you, but not for another player. Hey, Sleeves, is it me or all cards ever released seem to be in the pack pool this year? I saw someone pull a 94 Sanheim in the 7x80 untradeable pack, and if I think about it, I pull often cards that have been released ages ago. I think that's why the packs are getting way better as time goes on. Would really appreciate having your take on that. So if you didn't see this on Reddit, someone posted pulling Sanheim, and someone else posted pulling another fantasy card as well. They definitely include older items in the pack pool, but usually it's not master set items. If I'm being honest, I would bet that EA made a mistake if this is true. and it's probably already fixed, and not to mention it's probably so rare that like that it would never happen, or it could be trolling. I don't think it is trolling. I legitimately think that that set, which you can't make collectibles for, like the 7x80 you can only make by getting the daily collectibles, I believe. So someone did that and no one's been doing those yet. So it's like that pack, maybe no one knew, maybe they didn't realize that it was including the fantasy items. So I wouldn't chase after it, but it definitely did happen, it looks like. So hey, Sleeves, I'm gonna recommend you take the same advice you give us and definitely try practicing using circle to hit. We're about the same age. I've been playing NHL since 2000. I've always used the right stick since it's been introduced. This year is the first year I started using circle to hit, being it's the second year of using total controls, but right stick just does not work anymore. It's way quicker to just hit circle once where it does, and the load and hit compared to just loading and hitting with the right stick. Similar to your analogy with the button passing, where your brain is making two separate processes of first reading who's open and then selecting the player. Again, thanks for all you do. You're the man. Happy holidays to you and yours. Appreciate that, man. So I talked about this yesterday where I found hitting in NHL 25. Like, I can't do it. I don't know what it is. I doing it too early or too late. I find that I just can never tee up a hit, and that's because I use total controls, but I use skill stick. Like I do. I don't know why I don't just use skill stick, to be honest with you. I for whatever reason, I do everything on skill stick or with the skill stick, but I'm on total controls, if that makes sense. And I do the hitting because when you use circle, you're stuck in that animation. So if you're defending a play and you're loading up a hit and you have to let go of circle, you're stuck. You're just like you're in that animation. Whereas if you use the skill stick to manually hit, you can uncharge it basically so that you don't get stuck in that animation. But I definitely think I need to start using circle more because I noticed that the people that do hit me are doing the load up and then like either they're clearly using circle. So Slaves, do you think they're gonna release a team builder pack with 86s to make 89s? Oh, I could 100% see that. 100%. I would suspect in a month they're probably doing that. Um, but I don't know if it'll be anytime soon. Lineup question. Should I make McDavid or keep Bedard and Sider? I have no plan on going for McDavid's X Factor. Thanks for the great content. Like I said, man, blanket, unless you already have two captains towards McDavid's supercharge card. And even if you do have two, like there's a real value in just being able to use the card now because it's probably going to take you another month and a half to get the other two captains. But you do not want to leave the event without McDavid. You do not want to leave the event without McDavid. Bonjour, Sleeves. I'm 185 away from making my third Frozen Forces MSP. I currently have Sider and Bedard, and I was thinking of keeping Sider and making Riley to trade in Bedard to get Frozen Forces McDavid. Out of my 385s that I have available to trade in, which one would you move on from? Chara, Makar, or McKinnon? I'm hesitant to move on from McKinnon because I'm hoping he will get a Team of the Year card that I can use in the set. Appreciate the feedback. Okay, they haven't shown any inclination that you can trade in old Oh, no. This year, they haven't shown that you can trade in the MSPs for it. So we're assuming that, but this team is so different that they like doing things all over the place. So I don't know about that. My question would be if you make Riley. It would be McKinnon, but if it's not McKinnon because you want to hold on to him for that, then it would probably be Chara. Actually, when Makar is right-handed, though. If you're using Makar on a strong side, I would move on from Makar. Shouldn't EA Dev Team do B&D team builders when you trade in two team builders for one, just as the X Factors one for McDavid? Yes, this is how to correctly use the B&D feature in NHL 25. They do not understand that. They are not doing it correctly. Again, the B&D feature is good if it is done and used correctly. Like, for example, trading in 4 captains, which costs about 5 million coins, getting 2 back. That's how you use B&D. You trade in 2 team builders that cost hundreds of thousands of coins. You should get 1 back. Again, account bound. I don't understand. I do not. Instead, they just release cards that are B&D. Anyways. The free zone ability is so important. Some of those abilities are money and hard to put them against other overalls when it triggers a zone ability animation that the other card can't. Also frees up more AP with the rest of the team. 100%. There was a few comments about McDavid and the cost of holograms and the cost of McDavid. If you're going to play all year and you can get those cards, like the free zone ability is just so valuable when you consider, there isn't a lot of ability points to go around. There isn't. So, um, a lot of I'm getting a lot of which modern icon should I take. So that's like, because there isn't a lot of unbelievable options like there is with vintage where you could go with Gretzky, for example. And it's like Sundin or Niedermeyer or Lidstrom. The problem is with Sundin is that he's so slow and he's already got an upgrade to 87, meaning that he is going to be 85 speed or whatever it is for like months. However, he has free gold quick draw, which means you can put him on your fourth line, let's say, and you could always have a great face-off guy with gold quick draw. Like that is such an advantage where you set it and forget it on your penalty kill or whatever when you need to win a draw. That's such an advantage that I think that gives him a little bit more value. Just a comment, an underrated aspect that we found out about McDavid's X Factor is that it looks like the charged and hollow cards get free silver abilities too. That means all of the hollows will be greatly more valuable when they hit 89 and get a silver ability, presumably free like McDavid. 1,000%. 100% that's not being taken into account. For example, McDavid's X Factor has gold wheels, best ability in the game for him, and it doesn't cost a thing. He gets Ankle Breaker, not a great ability. But when you combine the fact that it's free and he gets to keep his speed doing deeks at the top end speed, it's a deadly combo. Like, it's absolutely insane. Like, if Chelios were to hit 89 and his hologram ends up getting silver truculence and you get to keep it activated for free, it makes these cards so much more valuable. Man, I've been crushing the hits all year. That's so weird. I'm only a Div 4 player. But yeah, you got to anticipate a little earlier when you load up. Sometimes you get burned, but yeah, when you don't, it's lights out. It might be a product that in Division 1 and 2, you can't just go for hits because you really have to time it correctly, or like you give up breakaways and things like that. But yeah, man, I got to start focusing. I'm going to try using just circle to hit. And maybe I have to let go a little bit earlier. But like I said, it's a weird thing that I've been struggling with this year. Howdy from Calgary. Question: what to do with my 75 overall cards after X Factor McDavid Go Flames Go? This would be a sell. Because 77s and 78s don't go for enough to trade in the 75s, like do that exchange. So when you get them, sell them. They've crashed in price, and it looks like they've hit the new bottom, and you could just hold on to it. I have a feeling that the new Series 2 X Factors, whenever they come out, that they are not going to require 75s. It's going to be like the women one. Lineup question. Hey, Sleeves, wanted to ask for defenders, how important is it to keep them on their strong side or weak side? Obviously, this is for one-timers in the middle versus up the boards. What are your thoughts, best practices? So, because of how NHL 25 plays, always want to have your defensemen, especially this year, on their offhand. That being said, on the penalty kill, I like having them on their strong side because if you win the draw, you can get it up the boards easily and they're not on their backhand. So that's where I would make the change, only on the penalty kill. Everywhere else, you want to have them on their offhand. The gift is the 83 team of the week item, guys. If you see the comment and it's the daily gift set, make sure you give it a like so that way it's at the top for everyone else to see. Again, you don't always have to do it, but it's good for everyone to know what they are. I love these videos. Perfect for my drive home on a long day. Love that, man, because that's what I used to look for when I worked all day long. So, should we expect an Austin Matthews card soon to replace the Cover Athletes version? I mostly play squad battles, and I'm not sure what it is, but always my first game on in the third period of my game will say connection lost, and I lose progress, and it still counts as a loss. It doesn't matter the score or the difficulty. Have you had anyone with a similar issue? Ooh, that might be an uninstall and reinstall if it's happening regularly. I've never seen that. In terms of Austin Matthews, I have a feeling he's the Series 2 X Factor. But he's becoming like Kucherov, where it's like, we're just not getting an upgrade for Austin Matthews. Hey, Slaves, sorry if you've answered this in a previous video. Would love your thoughts on the two B&D X Factor captains you'd recommend taking upon completion of McDavid. Does it really matter, or is it just a preference? Was thinking Kucherov with one. but wasn't sure on the second. I'm going to go Nylander just because there's so many decent defensemen. This really is up to you. Kucherov would be the 100% I would make, though. Letang, to me, seems to be the best, to me, of the 89 team builders. There's a situation in which Letang is the best. Again, it's all team context, I think. If you go back and look at the NHL 24/90 overall team builders, you're going to be blown away. One of the biggest things I realized when I watched my video was that the multiple synergies, we don't get them. And when you're in the lower overalls, like below 90 or 90 and below, having multiple synergies on a card really makes the card upgrade and become a lot better. Because of how the synergies work in NHL 25, they've changed it where they don't get a second synergy slot until they hit like 89 or 88 or whatever, and they're so hard to get a hold of because not everyone can have a full team of 88s to get the second synergy activated. Yes, you can have coaches and goalies, and that helps, but it's still very difficult. And when I looked at the 90 team builders, it was because they had multiple synergies activated, and you could activate them because you could basically customize synergies on almost every card that was like above 85 overall. That was a big bonus that we no longer get. And again, it just goes to show one step forward, two steps back. They've just undone all of the good that the prior content team had implemented from a foundational standpoint to try and put their own mark on the game. And this is a massive miss because the synergies were important on the lower overall. Once you get to 99, nothing matters. Like the synergies don't matter, right? So I really hate now looking at that, what synergies can do, and that they're just not a thing anymore. It sucks. Quick question. I just pulled an 87 overall Bobrovsky from the XP Path Rewards. Free to play here. I just want to know if this is good for the time being. Market value in the auction is approximately 145,000 coins, and right now I'm getting by with some 83 overall BNDs, Kachekov and Old Man Quick as the backup. I would anytime you pull a high overall goaltender, unless it is one that you like desperately want, right? Like let's say I got Askarov in a pack, I'm keeping Askarov. Sell immediately. It's like a used car. The second that card releases and it goes onto the market or off the lot, it loses value every day. Because more cards come out that are high overall, there's more options. So make sure that you do that to maximize coins. Hey, Slaves, question about synergies. I'm kind of a new player, and I just realized the process to activate synergies by having players with enough of the same synergy icon to activate them for their players. My question is, do you build your team to intentionally activate certain synergies, or do you just build a team based off attributes and whatever synergies activate is just a bonus? So my thing with synergies is they do help out quite a bit, but you should never choose a player that is far better overall just to get a synergy activated, because the synergy activated is a cherry on top. It does not take a card from being bad to good, right? It doesn't. There isn't it. The boost synergies help out quite a bit because they're like +4 to a specific attribute. Like the face-up boost, that one's pretty crazy. That being said, if your fourth line, you put in a card that you have better options of, but it activates the synergy, like just one, then that's cool. But for the most part, no. But what synergies do is it breaks a tie. So if you're trying to choose between two cards, roughly around the same attributes, same price, all of that, and one of them can get you two-way forward activated for all your centers, that's what I would go with. But I would not hamstring my team to just be like, oh, I got to have sniper forward activated. I wouldn't do that. Quick draw for a 0 is amazing. Any ability that is an animation ability, so not an ability that boosts up attributes for free, is crazy. I was actually thinking about this again for the insanely hut rich. Luongo with free showstopper is actually kind of nasty. Your goalie just always has showstopper, which in my opinion is one of, if not the best goalie things. Goalies don't matter, but it's kind of crazy you could have a free gold showstopper activated on a decent goaltender, and you know what I mean? Like it. That's why the holograms and X Factor McDavid are worth it. Like, if you're going to play all year. I think people are underrating Team Builder Letang. He is the best right-handed D in the game that isn't a fantasy card, and the only 89 Team Builder that is worth trading in Koivu and Gartner. I think the point you made early in HUD about defense being the most important in this game still stands. It was just easier to gloss over when every event released a good defenseman that you could be made for free, and cover athlete Makar is still a viable one right-handed defenseman. Letang is a real difference maker for those of us not lucky to have Parayko. This is what I'm talking about. on how the team builders are context-based. If you have Parayko, right, or you have Sanheim, right? Sanheim right-handed? I think he's left-handed. I can't remember. I'm very bad with righty-lefty. But let's say you have one of those two, and you were like, okay, I can make Letang. He's left-handed, sorry. So, bad example. If you were going to go make a right-handed defenseman, right, and you had Parayko, that means that Letang would be on your second pair. That's not worth it. Like, if you're going to lose 286s, it's a lot of investment. If he can't crack your top line, that's where I'd be like, I would look somewhere else. I would go maybe Backstrom or Hossa. Like, you know what I mean? So I do think he makes a good point. If you don't have Parayko, I think he's right. And I agree. I think Letang is one of the best options. So I also just want to drop a little hot take below the fold. Stop putting cards. I like this comment, by the way. Stop putting cards into X Factors. X Factor Fox costs more to make than Gretzky. For the same amount of wait. That can't be right. Oh, no, that can't be right. 38. Oh, no, I guess he is right. No, he can't be because it's only 8. 38 times 3750 times 8 is 1 million coins. Wow, that's expensive. That's if you were to buy them off the auction house. A 76 is roughly 3750 times 24, but you do it 12 times. It's very similar. Sorry, it's very, very close. So I just wanted to make sure here. Again, the market values could change a little bit, but it's very similar. So he's not completely incorrect here. For the same amount of fodder or coins, you could make Charge McDavid or 99, 66 and Sundin and have some coins left over to buy the 81 cards for Force's McDavid. It seriously doesn't make sense unless you already have 3 captains or you have a YouTube channel and are making an ongoing series of McDavid as the goal. People ask about this every week in the comments, and with the market collapsing, it makes less sense by the day to work on McDavid. I am in agreement here. Like, the chase for McDavid is for one type of player, the year-round addicted hut grinder. And if you're watching these videos regularly, you probably fall into that, but you might not be able to play 20 hours in a week. I'm with you on that. I have been playing the game, 20 hours a week, essentially since launch, and I still am 6 base icons away. Now, I stopped and I heavily invested in a couple of events, but nonetheless, like, I'm still not there, right? Free to play. If I had even less time to do it, you wouldn't get McDavid until like February. And I do think it's important to have a card like McDavid available. There should be a chase card that takes a substantial amount of time, and it needs to be the best card in the game. And I still stand by that. The Supercharged McDavid card is the best card in the game. Free gold wheels and the fastest card in the game is simply insane, especially because he gets free silver abilities. But I can't disagree with his argument that you could get 4 holograms for the same price. I'm with you on that because they get free abilities too. So I think if you're starting new, the supercharged cards are just out. Like, unless you are a diehard Oilers fan, you're going to play the rest of the year, sure, go ahead. I would be out on them as well. Because all of his other points makes a ton of sense. The X factors are for a very small selection of the player base. You have to be a grinder, and I am glad that there's. I've always said that there should be a chase for the grinders that only they can get, right? So just I wanted to point this out. I completely agree, and I'm with him that you should probably go holograms as your chase cards, or don't even go holograms. Sell everything and use the cards that come out throughout the year, if you don't want to go after any of the chase cards. So that's going to do it for this episode of Who Should You Choose? Again, I will have my Team Builder rankings video out today. And if you want to watch these videos live, come check me out on Twitch. I go live every morning in the morning around 10 a.m. And then I do an afternoon stream as well, starting around 2 to 3. Not today. Thursdays I take time to make YouTube videos. So that being said, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.